Hare Krishna, Prabhuji and Mataji, Sandal Pranam, Alluri Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Dhanvat Pranam Prabhuji.
Sandal Pranam Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for joining. Can you read Prabhu this one?
The perfection of life is therefore to become dependent on the will of the Lord instead of becoming falsely independent in the material world. Those who try to become falsely independent of the Lord are called anatha, or without any guardian, whereas those who are completely dependent on the will of the Lord are called sanatha, or those having someone to protect them. Therefore, we must try to be sanatha so that we can always be protected from the unfavorable conditions of material existence. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada ki.
Yeah, sure. So, how many of us wanted to become Anatha or Sanatha? How many of us become Anatha or Sanatha? That's where the Sanskrit word, right? Anadhalu, Anadha Ashramalu, something different. Sanatha, complete different. That's where Prabhupada frequently writes in his purpose. Depend on Lord, depend on the Lord's will, depend on Krishna. Right. Actually, we never ever independent on anything. Everything we are completely dependent on either material nature or we are completely dependent actually. There is energy, and we are not independent. It's a misconception, right? So that's where. Therefore, we must try to be sanatha so that we can always be protected from the unfavorable condition of material existence. Always think about Krishna. Yes, never forgets him. And unfavorable condition. That's you all know unfavorable condition of material existence. What is that unfavorable? Raju Prabhu, tell me. Unfavorable condition of material existence.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah, please, Prabhu. Try. What is unfavorable condition of material existence? Anybody?
Janma Murti Jara. Abstract.
Is it favorable? Yeah. We forcefully have to pass through these four, right? We forcefully. That's a stringent material loss. It's a favorable condition. I don't want to die. I wanted to become eternally. Wanted to live happily. I don't want to die. That's an innate nature, right? Anandamayo bhyasa. Soul's innate nature is Anandamayo bhyasa. I don't want to go on undergo all the four sufferings, right? Yeah. Only depend on Lord. How can we depend on Lord? Take beat bag and chant. That's a dependence. Right? And yeah, thank you. Wish you all very happy Mahashivratri. Lord Shiva is you all know the sloka, right? You all know the sloka. Lord Shiva is
Vaishnavam Yatha Shambhu.
Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Vaishnavan Yatha Shambhu. Perfect disciple, perfect Vaishnava. When he meditate on Supreme Personality, Supreme Personality of God form, and he is meditating upon Krishna. This Bhagavatam says, Amala Puranam says. So we have to faith in that, right? So yeah, let us remember Lord Shiva on this auspicious day to progress in our spiritual life. Let us pray him. We are not, we know what is Krishna's position, what is Lord Shiva's position. Let us remember and pray and get the blessings from Lord Shiva also. Vaishnavanam Yatashambhu. With this, let us begin. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimrandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निधि नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We are reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, chapter 5, entitled as The Glories of Lord Nityananda Balarama. We are at 197 verse. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. I fainted and fell to the ground. My dream broke, and when I regained consciousness, I saw that morning had come. I thought about what I had seen and heard and concluded that the Lord had ordered me to proceed to Vrindavana at once. That very second I started for Vrindavana, and by His mercy, I reached there in great happiness. All glory to Lord Nityananda Balarama, by whose mercy I have attained shelter in the transcendental abode of Vrindavana. All glory to the merciful Lord Nityananda, by whose mercy I have attained shelter with the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Sri Sanatana. By His mercy, I have attained the shelter of the great personality, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, and by His mercy, I have found the refuge in refuge of Sri Swarupa Damodara. Purport. Anyone desiring to become expert in the service of Sri Radha and Krishna should always aspire to be under the guidance of Swarup Damodar Goswami, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, and Raghunath Das Goswami. To come under the protection of the Goswamis, one must get the mercy and grace of Nityananda Prabhu. The author has tried to explain this fact in these two verses. See, that's where in our altar also we put all the Vaishnava Acharyas. That this is the goal. One must get the mercy and grace of Nityananda Prabhu. If we pray for them, we worship them, right? Yeah, Mataji, yeah, please start. Deepa Mataji, please start.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. By the mercy of Sanatan Goswami, by the mercy of Sanatan Goswami, I have learned the final conclusions of devotional service. And by the grace of Sri Rupa Goswami, I have tasted the highest nectar of devotional service. Purport. Sri Sanatan Goswami Prabhu, the teacher of the science of devotional service, wrote several books, of which the Brihad Bhagavatamrita is very famous. Anyone who wants to know about the subject matter of devotees, devotional service, and Krishna must read this book. Sanatan Goswami also wrote a special commentary on the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Dashama Tippani, which is so excellent that by reading it, one can understand very deeply the pastimes of Krishna in his exchanges of loving activities. Another famous book by Sanatan Goswami is the Hari Bhakti Vilasa, which states the rules and regulations for all divisions of Vaishnavas, namely Vaishnava householders, Vaishnava brahmacharis, Vaishnava vanaprasthas, and Vaishnava sannyasis. This book was specially written, however, for Vaishnava householders. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami has described Sanatan Goswami in his prayer Vilapa Kusumanjali, verse 6, where he has expressed his obligation to Sanatan Goswami in the following words. Vairagya Yug Bhakti Rasam Prayatnair Apayam Mam Anabhipsum Andham Kripam Budhir Yah Paradukha Dukhi Sanatanastam Prabhum Ashrayami. I was unwilling to drink the nectar of devotional service, possessed of renunciation, but Sanatan Goswami, out of his causeless mercy, made me drink it, even though I was otherwise unable to do so. Therefore, he is an ocean of mercy. He is very compassionate to fallen souls like me, and thus it is my duty to offer my respectful obeisances unto his lotus feet. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami also, in the last section of Chaitanya Charitamrita, specifically mentions the names of Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, and Srila Jiva Goswami, and offers his respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of these three masters, as well as Raghunath Dasa. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami also accepted Sanatan Goswami as the teacher of the science of devotional service. Srila Rupa Goswami is described as the Bhakti Rasacharya, or one who knows the essence of devotional service. His famous book, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, is the science of devotional service, and by reading this book, one can understand the meaning of devotional service. Another of his famous books is the Ujjwala Nilamani. In this book, he elaborately explains the loving affairs and transcendental activities of Lord Krishna and Radharani. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Different books by Srila Sanatana Swami. Yeah. Yes. Samyukta Mata, please read.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glory to the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, by whose mercy I have attained Sri Radha Govinda. Purport: Srila Narottama Dasa Thakura, who is famous for his poetic composition known as Prardhana, has lamented in one of his prayers, "When will Lord Nityananda be merciful upon me, so that I will forget all material desires?" Srila Narottama Dasa Thakura confirms that unless one is freed from material desires to satisfy the needs of the body and senses, one cannot understand the transcendental abode of Lord Krishna, Vrindavana. He also confirms that one cannot understand the loving affairs of Radha and Krishna without going through the direction of the 6 Goswamis. In another verse, Narottama Dasa Thakura has stated that without the causeless mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, one cannot enter into the affairs of Radha and Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare
Ma'am.
Krishna.
Yeah. Sandhya Mata, please read.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I am more sinful than Jagai and Madai, and even lower than worms in the stool. Anyone who hears my name loses the results of his pious activities. Anyone who utters my name becomes sinful. Who in this world but Nityananda could show his mercy to such an abominable person as me? Because he is intoxicated by ecstatic love and is an incarnation of mercy, he does not distinguish between the good and the bad. He delivers all those who fall down before him. Therefore, he has delivered such a sinful and fallen person as me. Although I am sinful and I am the most fallen, he has conferred upon me the lotus feet of Sri Rupa Goswami. I am not fit to speak all these confidential words about my visiting Lord Madana Gopala and Lord Govinda. Lord Madana Gopala, the chief deity of Vrindavana, is the enjoyer of the rasa dance and is directly the son of the king of Raja. He enjoys the rasa dance with Srimati Radharani, Sri Lalita and others. He manifests himself as the Cupid of Cupids. Wearing yellow garments and decorated with a flower garland, Lord Krishna, appearing among the gopis with his smiling lotus face, looked directly like the charmer of the heart of Cupid. Purport: this is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 10.32.2. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Yes, thank you. Lavishwari.
Hare Krishna. With Radha and Lalita helping him on his two sides, he attracts the hearts of all by his own sweetness. The mercy of Lord Nityananda showed me Sri Madana Mohana and gave me Sri Madan Mohana as my Lord and Master. He granted to one as low as me the sight of Lord Govinda. Words cannot describe this, nor is it fit to be disclosed. On an altar made of gems in the principal temple of Vrindavana, amidst a forest of desire trees, Lord Govinda, the son of King of Raja, sits upon the throne of gems and manifests his full glory and sweetness, thus enchanting the entire world. By his left side is Srimati Radharani and her personal friends. With them, Lord Govinda enjoys the Rasa Leela and many other pastimes. Lord Brahma sitting on his seat in his own abode always meditate on him and worship him with the mantra consisting of 18 syllables. Purport. In his own planet, Lord Brahma, with the inhabitants of that planet, worship the form of Lord Govinda Krishna by the mantra of 18 syllables. Klim Krishnaya Govindaya Gopi Jana Vallabhaya Swaha. Those who are initiated by a bona fide spiritual master and who chant the Gayatri mantra 3 times a day, known as Ashtadhashkara 18 syllable mantra, the inhabitants of Brahmaloka and the planets below the Brahmaloka worship Lord Govinda by meditating with this mantra. There is no difference between meditating and chanting, but in the present age, meditation is not possible on this planet. Therefore, loud chanting of mantra like the Maha Mantra Hare Krishna with the soft chanting of the Ashtatakara, the mantra of 18 syllables, is recommended. Lord Brahma lives in the highest planetary systems known as Brahmaloka or Satyaloka. In every planet, there is a predominating deity. As the predominating deity of Satyaloka is Lord Brahma, so in the heavenly planets, Indra is the predominating deity. And on the sun god Vivaswan is the predominating deity. The inhabitants and predominating deities of every planet are all recommended to worship Lord Govinda either by meditation or by chanting.
Hari Bol. This is what Prabhupada himself is saying, this one, second initiation, Guru Maharaj gives this one in ear. So it's a soft, within our mind, we have to do this. Klim Krishna Govinda Govijana Vallabhaya Swaha. This is one Ashtadashakshara. 10 names. 1, 2, 3. Ashtadashakshara, right? So this is the mantra. Hare Krishna mantra we have to chant loudly, but the Gayatri mantras we have to read in our mind. We have to recite in our mind. Yeah. And 3 times a day. Morning, afternoon, and evening. Before sunrise, afternoon, after 12, and after sunset. Yeah. Akinchan Prabhu, please read.
Everyone in the 14 worlds meditates upon him, and all the denizens of Vaikuntha sing of his qualities and pastimes. The goddess of fortune is attracted by his sweetness, which Srila Rupa Goswami has described in this way. Srila Rupa Goswami in his Laghu Bhagavatamrita has quoted the Padma Purana, quoted from the Padma Purana, where it is stated that the Lakshmi Devi, the goddess of fortune, after seeing the attractive features of Lord Krishna, was attracted to him. And to get the favor of the Lord Krishna, she engaged herself in the meditation. When asked by Krishna why she engaged in meditation with austerity, Lakshmi Devi answered, I want to be one of your associates like the gopis in the Vrindavan. Hearing this, Lord Krishna replied that it was quite impossible. Lakshmi Devi then said that she wanted to remain just like a golden lion on the chest of the Lord. The Lord granted the request, and since then, the Lakshmi has always been situated on the chest of the Lord Krishna as the golden lion. The austerity and the meditations of Lakshmi Devi are also mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam 10.16.36, where the Nagapatnis, the wives of the serpent Kaliya, in the course of their prayers to Krishna, said that the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, also wanted his association as the gopi and desired the dust of his lotus feet.
Hare Krishna, thank you. Raju, please read.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Tandat Pranam. Translation.
Yeah.
My dear friend, if you are in need attached to your worldly friends, do not look at the smiling face of Lord Govinda as he stands on the bank of the Yamuna at Kesi Ghat. Casting sidelong glances, he places his flute to his lips, which seem like a newly blossomed wings. fix. His transcendental body, bending in 3 places, appears very bright in the moonlight. Purport.
Yeah.
Purport. This is a verse quoted from the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.239 in connection with practical devotion service. Generally, people in their conditioned life engage in the pleasure of society, friendship, and love. This so-called love is lust, not love. But people are satisfied with such a false understanding of love. Vidyapati is a great and learned poet of Mithila. He has said that the pleasure of derived from the friendship, society, and family life in the material world is like a drop of water. But our hearts desire pleasure like an ocean. Thus, the heart is compared to the desert of material existence that requires the water of an ocean of pleasure to satisfy its dryness. If there is a drop of water in desert, one may indeed say that it is water, but such minute quantity of water has no value. Similarly, in this material world, no one is satisfied in the dealings of society, friendship, and love. Therefore, if one wants to derive real pleasure within his heart, he must seek the lotus feet of Govinda. In this verse, Rupa Goswami indicates that if one wants to be satisfied in the pleasure of society, friendship, and love, he need not to seek shelter at the lotus feet of it. He need not seek shelter at the lotus feet of Govinda. For if one takes shelter under his lotus feet, he will forget that minute quantity of so-called pleasure. One who is not satisfied with that so-called pleasure may seek the lotus feet of Govinda, who stands on the shore of the Yamuna at Keshi Tirtha or Keshi Ghat in Vrindavana, and attracts all the gopis to his transcendental loving service. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you. Just drop of water, the pleasures derived from in this, material world with society, friendship, and love, and it's temporary. But therefore, if one wants to derive real pleasure within his heart, he must seek the lotus feet of Govinda. Yeah. So let us read few more verses and we'll wind up. Actually, I have a call in office. Yeah, Matavi will read some more verses. Matavi, Deepa Matavi, you can read.
Translation: without a doubt, he is directly the son of King of Raja. Only a fool considers him a statue.
Statue.
For the offense, he cannot be liberated. Rather, he will fall into a terrible hellish condition. What more should I say? Purport. In this Bhakti Sandarbha, Jiva Goswami has stated that those who are actually very serious about devotional service do not differentiate between the form of the Lord made of clay, metal, stone, or wood, and the original. In the material world, a person and his photograph, picture, or statue are different. But the statue of Lord Krishna and Krishna himself, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, are not different, because the Lord is absolute. What we call stone, wood, and metal are energies of the Supreme Lord, and energies are never separate from energetic. As we have several times explained, no one can separate the sunshine energy from the energetic sun. Therefore, material energy may appear separate from the Lord, but transcendentally, it is non-different from the Lord. The Lord can appear anywhere and everywhere because his diverse energies are distributed everywhere like sunshine. We should therefore understand whatever we see to be the energy of the Supreme Lord, and should not differentiate between the Lord and his archa form made from clay, metal, wood, or paint. Even if one has not developed his consciousness, one should accept it theoretically from the instructions of the spiritual master and should worship the archa murti or form of the Lord in the temple as non-different from the Lord. The Padma Purana specifically mentions that anyone who thinks the form of Lord in the temple to be made of wood, stone, or metal, certainly in a hellish condition. Impersonalists are against the worship of the Lord's form in the temple, and there is even a group of people who pass as Hindus but condemn such worship. Their so-called acceptance of the Vedas has no meaning. For all the acharyas, even the impersonalist Shankaracharya have recommended the worship as Panchopasana, which include Lord Vishnu, Vaishnavas. However, Vishnu. Vaishnavas, however, worship the form of Lord Vishnu in his varied manifestations such as Radha Krishna, Lakshmi Narayana, Sita Rama, and Rukmini Krishna. Mayavadis admit that worship of the Lord's form is required in the beginning, but they think that in the end everything is impersonal. Therefore, since they are ultimately against the worship of the Lord's form, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has described them as offenders. Srimad Bhagavatam has condemned those who think the body to be the self as Bhauma Ijyadhi. Bhauma means earth and Ijyadhi means worshipper. There are two kinds of Bhauma Ijyadhi: those who worship the land of their birth, such as nationalists who make many sacrifices for the motherland, and those who condemn the worship of the form of the Lord. One should not worship the planet Earth or land of his birth, nor should one condemn the form of the Lord, which is manifested in metal or wood for our facility. Material energies are also the energy of the Supreme Lord. Hare Krishna.
Material things. Yes, Mata. Thank you. So in the temples, it's Archa Murti. It's a direct why we worship, why we worship with the so many ornaments and everything, right? So our eyes, materialists, of course, devotees, they see it's a Krishna's form, but materialists, they see it's a wood, it's a clay, right? So it's some metal, something like this. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says the offenders, it's offending by looking at those, material objects. And here Prabhupada mentioned, the material object, material energy is non-different from Krishna. Energy come from
Krishna.
Energy come from energetic.
Energetic.
Yeah, never separate from energetic. That's why. So we have to, at least, we have to try to see, even devotees, we are practicing devotional life. Let us see, Archa form is a real, is a personality of God. It is standing there to give mercy. Why we go to temples? To take darshan. So that darshan, we feel that is a personality. Krishna is there in this form. Yeah. Thank you so much, Prabhuji and Madhuri. Then I will pronounce again. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki jai. Shila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Hari Premanande Hari Hari. Happy Krishna Conscious Shivaratri. Krishna Conscious Shivaratri. Hari Bol. Krishna center చేసుకొని శివరాత్రి జరుపుకోండి. వైష్ణవానం యథాశంగా అని గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి. హరి బోల్. హ్యాపీ కృష్ణ కాన్షియస్ డే, ఫెస్టివల్ డే. చలో హరి బోల్.
Hare Krishna, Prabhupada.